You may be too young for this, but do you remember The Jenny Jones Show? It was one of the many daytime talk shows of the 90s. It was less serious than the Oprah Winfrey Show, but more serious than shows, let's say, like The Jerry Springer Show. In 1995, this man, John Schmitz, was brought on The Jenny Jones Show by a secret admirer. Producers from the show called John and told him that they would fly him to Chicago because somebody he knew had a secret crush on him and they wanted to disclose it on the show. Unknowing to John, the person who had a secret crush on him was his neighbor, Scott Amir. Scott Amir was a 32-year-old openly gay man, and Scott, like many people in the 90s, was a huge fan of these daytime talk shows. So when Scott was watching The Jenny Jones Show one day and she looked at the screen and said, "Do you or anyone you know have a secret crush on the same sex? Call us and let us know." He picked up the phone and let them know that he wanted to bring John on the show. So then on March 6th, 1995, the taping of the show would take place. Scott was joined by his and John's mutual friend, Donna. While Jonathan was backstage, unable to see or hear anything, Donna and Scott were on the stage. Scott was saying that he has had fantasies about John, and although he's not gay, anything is possible. And then when Jonathan came out on the stage, he thought that maybe Donna had the crush on him, but quickly realized that it was Scott because he knew Scott was gay, and although he seemed uncomfortable, he was okay and willing to laugh it off. He said that he's flattered, but he is not gay. Finish, everyone seemed to be in good spirits. In fact, Donna and Scott even changed their flight so they could fly home with Jonathan and he could give them a ride home. The three even went out for drinks and everyone said that they seemed in good spirits. Even some speculations, although not confirmed, that night Scott and Jonathan got pretty drunk and pretty close. But like I said, that's just speculation. Sadly, things would take a drastic and dark turn when John came home to a letter on his front door. This letter was from Scott, and it said that it was suggestive in nature, and this really upset Jonathan. After finding this note, Jonathan goes to the bank, pulls out $300, goes and buys some ammo and a gun. He then goes over to Scott's home, asks him if he wrote the note, and Scott says yes, he did. This is when John goes to his car, grabs the gun, comes back, and he shoots Scott twice in the chest, killing him instantly. John then leaves the scene, goes to an ATM, calls 911, and confesses to the murder. John is then arrested and charged with first-degree murder. His defense uses the gay panic defense, which is real, believe it or not, basically saying that he only killed Scott because he was gay and that made him uncomfortable. He also claimed that none of this would have happened if the Jenny Jones Show did not ambush him. Producers from the show stated that they told John that the crush could either be male or female. However, John said that he did not want to participate if it was a male secret crush, but they told him he had nothing to be worried about. In the end, John was charged with second-degree murder and was sentenced to 50 years in prison. Scott's family tried to sue the Jenny Jones Show, but it was overturned and they got nothing. And crazy enough, in 2017, John Schmitz was released from prison and is a free man today. The Jenny Jones Show was canceled a few years later, and there has been reports that Jenny Jones did feel guilty about the whole situation.